Hey y'all. So uh, so let's talk about American need. What do Americans need? Um, you'd think our country would be doing good. I've traveled all over this country, and the majority is mobile homes, old houses that are falling apart, folks living in campers. That's that's most of the country, from the East Coast all the way on over to the West Coast. The big cities, they've got they've got concrete houses and brick houses and stuff, and wood houses that are in fairly decent state of repair. But there's large sections of all our old cities that's falling apart. What America needs is several things. We need a good president for 8 years. We need good senators and good congressmen, not necessarily Republicans. We need we need good independents is what we need. Um, we need we need environmental care. We don't want trash. We don't want our waterways polluted. We don't want our air polluted. We need regulation that does its job and regulators that can keep our environment clean. Okay. Does that mean shut everything down? No. I was in the oil and gas industry for a long time. I believe natural gas is cleaner. Okay. What we really need is to get rid of the trash. The smartest thing to do would be to collect all our plastic up and crack it back down into oil or gas. That would be the smartest thing. We need that. We need somebody that will fight the plastics industry for that. That's what we need. Okay. We need somebody that is going to create a natural gas, a biogas generation industry that it can affect that. Okay. We need that. That's a need. Do we need electric cars? Sure. If the batteries are cheap enough, you know, lithium's too expensive right now. We need somebody interested in the cheap battery energy development. We need that. We need somebody to protect our congressional rights and to roll back all the laws that infringe upon them. We need that. The average American working man needs that. The average American working man and family also needs equal representation in marital court. Okay? If you work for your keep, you should be able to keep it. If you make a child, you should have 50% custody of that child. That's not the way it happens in marital court now. The average working man, who is the backbone of America, that does the majority of the work in America to produce our economy and our economic growth, is getting stepped on. Okay? That's why songs like Richmond, North of Richmond get famous, right? Because you're stepping on us and we're about to commit suicide out here. I know a lot of guys like that. I've been in that position. Okay? So, fix it. That's what we need. What we really need is, I hate to say this, it's going to sound terrible. We need government co-op healthcare. We don't need insurance. We need to reduce the amount of control insurance companies have over our healthcare, and we need a co-op system instead. That means everybody pays a little bit in for everybody, or you have a public healthcare account where you have to, put that in there for your combination Social Security healthcare, like Canada does. I would say that's one thing that Canada does right. I don't believe in the rest of their government. They're ruining all the other folks' rights up there, but but they did that right. Um, what we need for business is personal responsibility for your actions. Okay. What I mean by that is we need to get rid of the limited liability companies. We need to get rid of corporate ownership of corporations. Okay. It removes the liability too far away from the individual. It's bad. Okay. You could have a corporation that's owned by a corporation that's owned by a corporation, and that face corporation does a huge disaster, but the corporation that owns the corporation that owns the corporation that owns the corporation gets no penalty. Uh-uh. Fictitious names, owning fictitious names, no, absolutely not. That should not be allowed. We have to change our laws for the average American individual. What we need politicians that know about migration pattern grazing, that know about regenerative agriculture, that know about good land care and good human health care too. We need folks that aren't going to legislate laws that allow our corporations and our businesses to poison us. Okay, that's what we need. We have a chance this election year to select somebody like that. Okay? Maybe even more than one person like that. We need our politicians to surround their good candidates with highly intelligent, highly conscientious individuals that will support their good candidates and grow the economy and grow the domestic uh, economy. We don't need somebody out for world economic gain. We need somebody out for American gain, American foreign policy, American infrastructure growth, American healthcare, and then we can take care of everybody else. And frankly, anybody that's too closely tied to China or Russia or Ukraine or the European Union needs to be outed. The reason for that is Americans are for the little man. We are all immigrants. Okay? If you want to help somebody go to Africa, help the folks over in India get high tech. Okay, that's better than China. At least they're Democrats, or at least they're a democracy. Okay, help somebody in Africa. Okay, help them get industry and actual real agriculture. You might make a fortune off of it. You know, that's where the growth in the world is. That's where the new economic growth is stabilizing areas like that. And not just stabilizing it, but helping them build their agriculture, helping them build their infrastructure, especially their shipping. If you can figure out how to get a levee system and a canal system into the heart of Africa, you're going to make trillions, trillions upon trillions of dollars. Okay? Because that is where all the valuable minerals in the entire world come from. Think about that. That's where all the valuable natural resources are coming out of, is Africa. If you can open up the center of that continent, then you have a good foreign policy. If you can figure out how to help Egypt develop the Suez Canal, then you have a fantastic foreign policy. Okay? If you can figure out how to help the Jews create more high tech, you have a fantastic foreign policy. Everybody else is junk. That's what we need. We need politicians that are actually smart enough to realize what we need. All this stuff about pro-abortion and anti-abortion stuff. No, we don't need an argument about that. The public has already, for better for worse, figured that out. Now, well, I will say this: I'm anti-abortion because I don't like people killing babies. But not only that, but we do have in America pagan religions that are cannibal religions, okay? And abortions just make that more available. But so does average death. Okay, that's not very helpful to anybody to have that around. Okay, because that's 90% of the reason why we have missing persons cases. Now think about that. Do you want to add to that problem? But that's, I mean, we've already made a decision about that. We don't have to argue no more. The LGBTQ stuff, we don't need to argue about that no more. It's already happened. Everybody's done with that. Legalizing the drugs and stuff like that. Hey, marijuana's legal in most places now. We don't need to argue about that no more. We need to look out for our own good. We've already made all these other decisions on what we want to do. Now let's look out for our own good. Let's look out for our pocket. Let's look out for our health. Right? Let's look out for our foreign policy in a good way that's beneficial to everybody else. We don't got to fight the whole world. We can be the biggest army, but we don't have to fight them. Not if we don't want to. What we do need to do, we do need to look out for us. Because right now, the American working force, the average American guy, has less than his granddaddy did. Okay? The average American gal, she's got less rights and less of a wholesome life than her grandmama did. Do you understand? We got to make a change. Our 40-year-old men like me, they need to own houses outright. We ought to be able to own our own land, own our own houses, own our own car, not make no payments, and have a retirement. That was the vision our grandparents had, and we are failing. We are failing because we have bad politicians. We are failing because we have bad businessmen. Okay? This political year, let's make a change. We deserve it. We've already made all these other decisions that about race and about LGBTQ and about abortion and about all this other stuff. We don't need to go back and rehash none of that. It ain't going to help us any. We don't need to find anything new and divisive. Okay? There's unity in unity. There is not unity in diversity. We need to be unified on our wallet and our health and our foreign policy for the whole world's good. That's it. Do you understand? That's it. Then we as a country can succeed and we can help this world change for the good. Because lately, we've been doing an awful bad job. We don't need another puppet as a president. Okay? I don't hate Joe Biden, but he has been used. And he has been used by big American corporations to get what they want. And it's time for the American man, the American individual to get what we want. Okay? They've had their turn. They can't have a turn again. Not for another 30 years. So let's make it happen. Y'all have a good afternoon.